Okay, this video is a tale of two holidays. So the first holiday is Christmas, as celebrated by Christianity. The second holiday is called winter break, as celebrated by atheism, atheistic Darwinism, which has now become the national religion of the West, especially the United States. That's how it's taught. I'm going to show you some pictures, then we'll come back to the text part of the show. Okay, first of all, Christianity is all about the family. Celebration of the birth of a baby, the Holy Family. Everybody's involved. It's beautiful. Okay, just here's more patient adoration of the Magi for the newborn baby. And, you know, everybody in town is appreciative of it. It's the big event. It's the big deal, a new person in the family. And it goes on and on. All these beautiful paintings like here from Sandro Botticelli, you know, adoration of the Magi and the Medicis and all the families. And there's Sandro Botticelli right there, the great artist, and the greatest artist of the 1400s. And here's Ghirlandaio. You know, it's magnificent. They're all coming here to admire the baby, to celebrate the family, the new life. Okay, and you know, Christianity is a big-time celebration of the family. Here's the best Christmas movie ever made, It's a Wonderful Life, 1946, with Jimmy Stewart as George Bailey, Donna Reed as his wife. It's beautiful. I love that movie. Okay, and here's just, you know, the happy family. Everybody's together at Christmas, and that's what it's all about. It's a joyful time. Christianity takes the cold winter and with the short days and turns it into the happiest day of the entire year. It's beautiful. It's the joy of the world. Okay, now getting back to this, Christians believe that God made the world and we should obey him. Atheism believes that the world just spontaneously made itself. There wasn't any God or creator that had to do it. They think that they are gods themselves and can do what they want. There's no morality. Okay, Christianity, we said, celebrates the birth of a baby, and they buy presents for the baby and for other children. Whereas in winter break, atheism, it celebrates the big A word here, A-B-O-R, then you know what comes next, T-I-O-N, and it's essentially child you know what, sacrifice on the you know what altar of the you know what convenience, okay? And then Christians donate lots of money to charities, and they give gifts. They're the most charitable people around. Whereas these types here, the atheists that celebrate their winter break, they make money by chopping the baby into pieces that they can sell, and some of them are made into medications that people ingest, and that is a form of cannibalism. Okay, we'll come back to that, but I want to show you some pictures here. Here's the beautiful Christmas Carol, the magnificent movie and book, best novel ever written, all the magnificent music of Christianity. It's the best music in the world by a factor of 1,000. Elvis Presley, Bing Crosby, Luciano Pavarotti, John McCormack, Mario Lanza, and tons of other great singers. It goes on and on. It's the best music in the world. All the Christmas lights are the joy, people singing Christmas carols. It's a joyful time. It's the joy of the world, the light of the world. And all the, you know, you drive past these houses, the beautiful nativity manger seen out in front of the house. It's spectacular. These things would cheer me up when I was driving home to see all the beautiful lights people would have. And here's another scene. It's just spectacular. They're the light of the world, the joy of the world. Christianity takes cold winter and turns it into the happiest time of the year, bright and joyful. Okay? Here's a baby being born. This is an MRI. Normally, of course, the woman would be on her back supine. She's prone here just for the sake of showing the baby come out head first, this delivery. So that's an MRI. But, you know, MRI of pregnancy is not that common. Ultrasound is common. So here's a standard ultrasound, you know, 2D grayscale, and you just see a baby. You see the baby's spine, the baby's nose, his mouth, his lips, his brain, his foot, his hand. You know, it's a baby, okay? Not just a fetus, it's a baby. Here's the baby. This is three-dimensional ultrasound, 3D ultrasound. In utero, you can see the baby sucking its thumb. That's a baby. There's nothing else that could be. That is a baby. That is a human life. That is a person. Okay, here's a baby smiling in utero. This is, again, ultrasound inside the uterus of a pregnant woman. Here is twins, and the twins were shown like kissing each other on an ultrasound of a pregnancy. Now, here is a baby, and it looks like the baby's praying. This, by the way, is Stevie Nicks, a big hero of feminine. She had 4 AB you-know-what orphans because she said, well, she was too busy with her career. So each of the 4 men who she, K-I, you-know-what, LLED'd their babies, they all left her right when she did that. You know, how could you stay with a woman after she did that to your baby? So here's a little baby praying. Oh God, please let my mother be a traditional conservative. Please don't let her be a feminist or Stevie Nicks. And here's just one example of an AB, you know what, abortion, where they're scooping the baby out of there. There's a lot of different ways to perform the procedure. Here's one of the little guys up in heaven saying, you know, there's many millions of us not celebrating Roe versus you know what. And basically, you know, most common cause of MURDER is women doing that to their own babies. That's how sick our society has been. You know, in the Bible, they mock a society where they sacrifice infants, and that's what we do. Okay, what are some other things? The baby nurses with mama, that's a beautiful way of bonding. The Bible is the guiding light of Christianity versus of the atheism sphere. Evil psychologists work with other evil rich people to plan methods of population control, cancel culture, and you know what, me culture, okay? Nobody wants to get married because divorce rates are so high and it's so brutal and evil towards men. So you end up with all these women that don't have husbands. Many of them don't even have babies. They abort, you know, and they're divorced cat ladies. You got all these people who are confused about their gender, largely, I think, because not just social programming, but because of all the toxic estrogenic chemicals in their food, in their water, in their etc., okay? They've got no sense of having an intact country or family or church, and you know they open up the you know what down south, a border, if you will, and you know then aliens come in and beat the hell out of them. So we'll talk about that in a sec. Christmas lights are the joy of the world. Again, they give cheer to each other. The atheists are always complaining, no matter what is given to them. They always want to gaslight more, and they want to you know what side the Christians. They go into cities and they, you know what, burn them down. Songs of Christianity and Christmas include things like, "Oh, come, let us adore him," "Away in a manger," you know, "First time ever I saw your face," about the baby. The songs for the atheists are things like, "Oh, come, let us KILL him with KCL injection and chop him up. Away in an AB clinic." I can't wait to get this damn thing out of my body so I can get stoned this weekend and sleep with that bad boy. Be a HO. Okay, Christians make family movies like Wonderful Life and Scrooge. Atheists make low IQ action films, you know, they're horror films and, you know, POR, you know what, NO. Atheists make films about serial KILLERS like Silence of the Lambs. Christians also make films about heroes, people like Rocky and Jesus Christu. Okay, lefties hate that sort of thing. They also hate the farmers. You know, they tip over trains in Ohio. They have trails in the sky of chem. They have burned down food factory processing plants. Good quote by John Dos Passos. He said, "Marxism has not only failed to promote human freedom, it has failed to produce food." Yeah, the people starve to death whenever you try to implement that kind of craziness. Okay, Christians love farmers, and the farmers generate an abundant cornucopia of food. Nowadays, they're like trying to prevent all these small family farms. I think all these small family farms are a great thing. The more, the better. Okay, they help feed us. And yeah, even though I'm a vegan for health, I have nothing wrong with them having chickens and all this other stuff because it's a backup food supply, and that could come in very handy sometime. Okay, the motto of the Christianity is love one another, be fruitful and multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. Be nice. That what you do to the least of my brethren, you do unto me. Individual rights, okay? The motto of these guys is smash the patriarchy. We need to control the you-know-what population. Borders are you-know-what, RASCIST. All heterosexual, you-know-what, Caucasian Christian men are, you-know-what, misogynist, chauvinistic, H-phobic, RASCISTs, and should be Gino you-know-what sided. Yeah, brilliant way to turn the place into a disaster. Okay, here's sort of the big motto of feminism. Feminism comes from Satanism. Don't make any mistake about that. And it now has been taken over by the cow, you-know-what, the moon in the east, cow, moon, east. Smash the patriarchy is their motto. They always pretend that women are so strong. In real life, women are physically pretty weak, okay? They greatly benefit by working as partners with a man to help them and to help them raise a baby. So now they got them all stirred up. They're pulling down the statues, trying to destroy the history of the country. Here she is. She has a picture of a uterus. giving the finger, saying, my body, my choice, I can KILL my, baby if I want. Smash the patriarchy means smash the founding fathers who made this country the most free, the most wealthy, prosperous, safe country in the whole world, the model for the whole world, this country that produced the most good stuff ever since it was founded, okay? Gave us the Declaration, gave us the Constitution, you know what. Okay, so here's the signing of the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson, the main author, Ben Franklin, and others. And if you look around, it's a bunch of men. It's a bunch of Christian men, okay? This is noble masculinity. Remember that phrase, because that's the only thing that can save the country. Noble masculinity, a return to Bible-based values, okay? That's what makes a country free and a good society, okay? That's an important point. Okay, here's a nice painting by John McNaughton, and this is basically an eagle trying to save the Declaration, which is being burnt up and destroyed. Okay, here is the Constitution. There's a big GW and the rest of the men at the Constitution, trying to make a document that had amendments that create freedom for everybody. Okay, now here's one of the leading feminists. Her name's Catherine McKinnon. I just want you to see what she says. By the way, if you open up a book and read about feminism, you will see it comes from Satanism. And the concept of coming from Satanism was the idea that, the serpent in the Garden of Eden respected Eve by wanting her to educate herself. So that's a big thing of feminism, that that Satan is their friend, that Satan wants them to be educated. Okay. So here she says, Catherine McKinnon. She's a Harvard lawyer, okay, a very famous, prominent author of multiple books on feminism. She says, feminism and socialism and communism are one and the same thing. They are the same thing. Feminism, socialism, and communism are the same thing. And socialist communist government is the goal of feminism. There is no doubt about it. And remember what these guys did in Soviet Russia. They KILLED'd 65 million Christians, burnt down 48,000 churches. Okay, that is their goal. That's what they want to do everywhere in the West. Do not kid yourself about what they are up to. Do not pretend this is some naive thing to help women. No, women are just chumps that are working as part of this movement to destroy things. It's a very destructive. Okay, and here's a great quote by Ayn Rand. She's a great defender of freedom and individual rights. She said, there is no difference between communism and socialism except in the means of achieving the same ultimate end. Communism proposes to enslave man by force. Socialism by the vote. Turn him into a chump, basically. Gaslight him and trick him into voting against his own interest. It is merely the difference between murder and suicide, okay? She knows if you don't have property rights, you don't have any individual rights, and that's one of the things being taken away. She gets it. This lady's the smartest lady who ever lived. Okay, so like I said, make no doubt about it. You can enjoy life and celebrate it with all the bright, Christmas lights and Christmas presents and charity, and have a wealthy country and everybody's free to do whatever they want. Or you can get sucked into all this nonsense and you'll end up with pop, control and a disaster like it's happened everywhere it's gone. Everywhere it goes, you end up with, the feminists having mountains of, babies that they KILLED'd. You end up with starvation everywhere. You end up with cruelty everywhere. It's a disaster. It's like this is the worst thing in the world replacing the best thing in the world. How stupid could people be to be choosing this over this? Okay, well, hopefully that was useful and people learned from it. Merry Christmas.